Good afternoon. And it's not a bad afternoon, be that there is a brisk chilly breeze. Right, back out to the workshop because I'd realised that the videos that I have already made were all pointing in the wrong direction. So that's not good. Right, where are we at? We've moved on a little bit with the miter station of the components. I've still got a little bit of trimming to do on the new box. Don't worry about the dust there. There was no extraction going on. I just needed to lob a bit off. So there's dust there. That's actually working not too bad. A couple of little refinements still need to be made, which will be pretty good. And then, well, we'll see how it goes. I've got some components already cut, ready to make up some for fences on either side of the miter station. Surprisingly, all of the cuts off of the track saw and the miter station, the miter saw, in both the plumb cut and the square cut out here, pretty darn good. So I've actually dialed it in reasonably well at this point anyway. So that's very, very pleasing. Thumbs up on that. Now, the thing that I have been talking about is the parallel arm guide, gauge and fence. It does more than one job, so therefore I have to describe it in that manner. But what I have noticed is, now if I just put that on there, and so that's sitting there, what I've noticed is I have not prepared this earlier, obviously. When I move the arms round to its maximum, or virtually the maximum extent like that, the arms angled acutely, it moves the centre of this rail away from the centre point where roughly I've got the gauge screw, if you want it, the threaded rod. And as such, you can get quite a bit of movement. No, you can induce by pushing a bit of movement at that point here. Of course, when it's down that way, you can induce it down the other end. When it's in the 90-degree position, you can't move it at all because it's being directly supported by this, by the arm, itself. Out here, not too bad at 45 degrees, pretty good. But as soon as you go past that, you do get that possibility of getting that movement. So I'm about to remake the whole thing with a couple of improvements, and I'd actually gone over a couple of ideas where I can, how would you say, I was actually going to, in another video, I've already covered it, I was actually going to have it so that this rail wasn't actually there at all, and I'd just have the pivots in the worktop, making it a little bit more flexible, and with the idea of having this movable side to side, so that as I move it like this, I could pick up a separate block that has the threaded rod and the gauge in it and move it across so it's more central. I thought, wow, that is a really amazing idea. And as I was explaining it to you all, another thought came to me, and I'm going, hang on a minute. If I have the threaded rod in here, no matter where it goes, it's central. So if the threaded rod is turnable at this point, it can come down and I can turn it there, and it's actually supporting at that point. So there's very little chance of this flexing because it's being held at this point, if you can follow all of that. So rather than trying to keep a fixed point for the gauge, the rod, or have it in a block where I can move it, I put it in this part so that it's always in the center. Now, it's generally not going to be a problem, no matter where this is, if I use the bench dogs or the pins down there, you know, and I can dot them along those holes, that would hold the material square for my cutting purposes. However, sometimes I'll be wanting to cut a narrow strip, let's just say like that, where there is no chance of the locating pins keeping it square at all. And it all comes down to the support of this fence. It's gauged to size, it's held, and I don't want it doing, whoops, let's just put it down there. I don't want it able to do that. Now, to be fair, it's unlikely it ever could, because there's no pressure I'd be putting on that to achieve that deflection. But if I remove the possibility by, you know, doing what I'm saying, why not? Also, I'm making this 200 mils longer, thereabouts. So I'm going to move this arm a further 100 mils out. I can't do the full 200, but I'll come out another 100. So that's kind of more necessary to have what I'm saying work. And yeah, that allows me a lot more confidence that when I do those cuts, I can rely on them. So this is the this is the rail here. So now I have to drill some holes. I really only need the holes where the pivot arms are going to go, so here and here, but I probably have to drill all of the holes anyway, so I can use the specific, although no, hang on, now do I? I was just going to say I'll probably use the metal, you can't see it, it's over there, just use your imagination. But I was going to use the square template that I've got to step the holes across, but no. So long as I make these holes and the holes in, so that's that rail there, so this becomes, this becomes this, but I do two of them with the same bar, with the same spacings, that keeps all the holes comparatively the same. So even if the bar that I use is out by 1/10 of a millimetre, that'll be out 1/10 there and 1/10 there. Come all the way down here, if it's 2/10 out, it's 2/10 out. So at least on that level, it retains its accuracy. Ditto for the arms themselves. These are old ones that I had, but as you can see, I've measured up, and that one is, don't worry about the 80, it was 80.2, 80.2, 80.15, 80.1. So it's 5/100ths of a millimetre out. Still pretty good. And this one's 10/100, so it's 1/10 of a mil out. But in the increments, so if you added those two together, that would be just the fractions. That's 0.35. This is 0.3, so it's only 5/100ths out. If I go all the way out, I'd be what, 20, 30, 40, 0.45, 20, 30, 50. So again, only 5/100ths of a millimetre out. I think I might live with that, because that is pretty small measurements. So I can replace this arm with this arm, and so long as I keep that's why I've got them marked A and B and what have you, so long as I keep them identical, I keep the fidelity and the accuracy. So that one goes down there, and then when I moving it around, I have that confidence that I've done everything that's workshop possible to keep the accuracy. Hey, because it is nice to have that assurance in what you're doing, with what you're doing. So yeah, there we go. You're pretty much up to speed. Up to speed. I actually deleted I don't know how many videos, and in the last day or two, I've been deleting other models and etc. that I've made. Hang on, just let me use two hands, would you? Don't go away though. And yeah, I've deleted a lot of video, a lot of SketchUp models, because they've been superseded with what. Oh, geez, that's tight. It's been superseded with what we're now doing, so seems a little bit redundant. Right. So be a bit redundant to keep on using those other videos and whatever. Anyway, there we go. Keeping it nice and accurate. The fidelity, 5/100ths of a mil. I think I'll live with it. Rightio, now I just have to drill these holes, and I'll make another set for over here, and then what? Good question. Then what? What have I got to do next? Well, oh, that's right. I do have to finish the half lap fences that will go back on here, and of course assemble the fences that go on either side. So if I don't get it done in the next day or two, I'll be most annoyed, and that's not a good thing. Yes, the other thing is, now I've made the videos, and as I've deleted so many, I think I've deleted one aspect of it, that this workshop I've been rebuilding over the number of years, deliberately to be able to be used in the manner it is. Like I've got the vaulted ceiling here, left the truss out. That's why I've got extra strong trusses supporting the roof, heavy purlins, etc. So this was a purpose, that was the purpose that I intended it to be used for, a workshop. Yes, it is a garage, but anyway, cutting to the chase, I've lived here all my life, literally 65 years plus some change. I was 2 years old when we moved here, and through a certain series of circumstances, I may be required to sell the house. No, don't go boo-hoo, it's just the way it is. But it has the silver lining that I'm going to put on it. Even though I would prefer to live here for the next 20, 25 years, the opportunity has come to move, and move to perhaps far better premises. Definitely better for the house. Wow, yeah. But here's the thing. My friend, who's a realtor and is helping me out, he showed me a house that he says, this is the sort of thing that you might want to look at. And it was a 4-bedroom, two bathrooms, and a double internal access garage. And I'm going, oh, that's really nice. Haha. But that particular property also had a double garage sized workshop. And I was going, oh, that's interesting. And he was saying, yes, sometimes you'll get places that have got what's called, I've never heard of it, I'm a builder and I've never heard of this term, but a tandem double garage. Not a triple, not a quad garage, but a tandem double. So it's a double width, like a standard double garage, and then there's another double right behind it. So it's a tandem, like a tandem bike, one behind the other. And I was going, ooh, that would be even better. I mean, it really would. He said those places are out there, and it is very possible for me, if this all works out, probably happening within the next 6 months, my purpose-built garage would be bye-bye, and I could be out into the country a little bit further, and have a more user-friendly workshop. Because this has always been a compromise. It's just that little bit small. It's a 1.5 garage, so it's a single garage with workshop attached on the side. A double garage, oh, luxury. Plus I have a garaging for the vehicles. So there you go. Well, there's a bit of information you didn't need to know, but you do now. But yeah. And if I have the double, I don't know the place where I'm buying, it's not the house I saw in the photos that my mate showed me, the realtor showed me, but if it was the equivalent, I'll have more space to dot round my machines without them all doubling up and, blocking each other. So on that alone, I would appreciate. So, yeah, interesting times. Had not anticipated this more than 4 days ago. So it's still fairly timely. A lot of turmoil because I've got a lot of stuff that will need to be either got rid of or taken with me. And I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So yeah, there's that. Whew. Okay, well that's the news, and this is where I'm up to. I'll carry on with this now, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Righty-ho, I'll see you then. Bye.